In today's video, we are going to be talking about some newborn essentials, stuff I think we used a lot and are still using now because she is about to be 2 months tomorrow. We'll probably continue using half of them until she's about, I would say, like a year old. So the first thing I recommend would be a sleep sack. Once I transitioned from trying to swaddle her in blankets, and she would always break out of those with her hands or her feet, so they just never stayed on properly. So I think that when I transitioned to a sleep sack, it was actually life-saving because she always moves her hands like this. She wants them near her face, so she breaks out of a regular swaddle like no other. We always need to have her little sleep sack on at night, or else she moves too much to where she wakes herself up. So the sleep sack that we love is by Nested Bean. It just has a weighted spot on, like, right in the middle, I think, and then two smaller weighted areas on the sides. And I think that that's really all you need. I know that there's other brands and they're weighted all across their body, which I think they don't need all that. So Nested Bean is nice because the whole entire thing isn't weighted. I love that about them. Once we started using that, I swear her stretches went longer. So like the first 2 weeks when I was just using like a blanket as a swaddle, her sleep would be just all over the place. It was like every 30 minutes, every hour, you know, I'm waking up. And then when we went to the sleep sack around like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks, she started making like 2 to 3 hour stretches. And like, to me, going from getting no sleep at all and healing to getting, you know, 2 to 3 hours of sleep at night was just so much better. So seriously, life-saving. I couldn't thank Nested Bean enough for how great their swaddles are. They have little sleeves on them that you can unzip so their arms can be out. Like, my daughter loves her arms near her face, so it's a nice option to have that. So even with the arms covering and zipped up, she still has room to put her forearms up or down or however she wants them. So normally her forearms are always up, and she like loves that because she can still have her hands near her face, but then she's not really like waking up, you know, hitting herself from the startle reflex, which can happen sometimes too. So that swaddle is great for babies that move a lot because she moves a ton. The Snuggle Me Lounger, we didn't use this as much as her swing and her bouncer. Her bouncer we used a lot because I could bring that more places than I could bring a swing. Her four-mom swing is what we use. That stays in the room, so it's not as portable as her Bjorn bouncer, which is what we use. The four-mom swing I got secondhand from Facebook Marketplace, which I highly recommend doing because they're like $200 or $300 brand new. I got that off Facebook Marketplace, the four-mom swing, for 40 bucks. So, and it's practically brand new. She uses that all the time. She loves it because she loves being in the car. She loves being in the stroller. So the four-mom swing has been a godsend for us. Her Bjorn bouncer as well. She has acid reflux, so staying flat all the time is not her favorite thing. She likes to be upright. And with the Bjorn bouncer, I've noticed there's different kind of incline positions. So she could be lower, in the middle, higher up. So I really like that about the Bjorn bouncer because a lot of other bouncers I've noticed, they don't have those same options. So that's something to think about when it comes to bouncers. We have an Ingenuity one. If you know what that brand is, it's a lot cheaper than the Bjorn bouncer. It's great, but it was also way too big for her as a newborn. And the Bjorn bouncer is made for newborns. So that's also another thing to think about. I just felt so much more comfortable with her being in the Bjorn bouncer than the Ingenuity one. The Ingenuity one was just like way too big for her. And it's nice because we get to use it later, but currently I still don't use it as much as the Bjorn bouncer. Also, I got the Bjorn bouncer secondhand on Facebook Marketplace, also for 40 bucks, I think. And that's also a steal because I think the Bjorn bouncers are $109 brand new. The one that we have, it's the cloth Bjorn bouncer. Another thing I recommend would be a diaper pail. The Diaper Genie is what we use. We have a really old version of it. Doesn't have to be new. The Diaper Genies are just my favorite. They keep in the smell 100%. Like, people that say that it still stinks, I don't know what they're talking about. They don't at all. The Diaper Genies are great because they have a pedal, so it opens the top super easily compared to like an Ubi diaper pail. The Ubi diaper pail, you have to open the top with your hand. The next thing I highly recommend would be a diaper caddy or a cart in the room, like a rolling cart. I will say I used the rolling cart a lot more when I was breastfeeding for a few weeks when I had her, but I don't really recommend it for formula feeding moms just because the diaper caddy worked just fine. It's a lot cheaper. And you're able to just put the diaper caddy on your nightstand and stuff diapers and wipes in it to change them at night so much easier. So highly recommend the diaper caddy. The rolling cart was great because you could fit more stuff on it, like a different change of clothes, some socks, diapers, wipes, your breast pumps. That's the reason why I think it was so useful when you're breastfeeding, is you could put your breast pumps on there, your Haka, everything you need to pump in the middle of the night. Has everything that you need. It makes it so much easier to breastfeed throughout the night, having that by your bedside. I did not use that as much as the diaper caddy. So the next thing is pacifiers. She absolutely loves the Dr. Brown's pacifiers. The only thing is that they are a little bit bigger. I think that's the reason why she likes them though, but they do fall out a lot easier than these ones that she has in right now. These are the Tommy Tippy pacifiers. They sit more flush against her face, which is what I really like. They don't plop out of her mouth super easily unless she knocks it out. The other thing about the Dr. Brown's pacifiers is they get stuff stuck on them really, really easily. So lint, cat hair, dog hair, whatever, like if you have a pet, that hair is gonna get stuck to it. It's really, really gross. I hate them because of that. She'll have lint on her, you know, crib sheets, or she'll have lint, you know, anywhere. And if she pushes her pacifier out, I always, if it's the Dr. Brown's ones, I'm always having to pick them up, look at them, and wash them because they have lint or hair or whatever on them constantly. Tommy Tippy ones aren't like that. A lot of other ones aren't like that either, but for some reason the Dr. Brown's take in so much lint. It's wrong, sweet. The next thing I would recommend is a sterilizer. You don't need a sterilizer necessarily, because I go in between hand washing and using the sterilizer to just using the dishwasher because it washes it and sterilizes it at the same time. So either or, whatever you think you're gonna use more. I do recommend that if you are dishwashing bottles and pacifiers and things of that nature, that you have enough of each one, because if you don't have enough bottles, I noticed that when you use the dishwasher, you're gonna have to dishwash probably every day because you go through bottles all the time. Highly recommend having enough bottles if you are thinking about dishwashing. The next thing I would recommend would be the Advent Natural bottles. We loved these bottles because the milk doesn't come out unless she sucks the milk out. So with the Dr. Brown's bottles, I noticed that milk would leak out of the nipple just holding it upside down without her even sucking anything out. So I didn't really like the Dr. Brown's bottles because of that. When milk just leaks out of the nipple without them sucking it, you're more prone to getting leaks of milk down the chin and into the neck, and it just causes, you know, a really dirty, milky neck. And it's not something I recommend because it does not smell good. You're always having to clean their neck because of it. So we went through a lot of different bottles. trying to find the perfect one, and the Advent Naturals were great. Moving on to diapers. I recommend the Coterie diapers a lot because they are chlorine free and they're super soft. They're great diapers. The only thing is they're really expensive, which is worth it if you're looking for an option that's chlorine free, but I will say they're not as easily accessible as the brand that we use with that, which is Millie Moon. We go between Coterie and Millie Moon right now currently. Millie Moon is great because you can easily get that in Target. They're a lot cheaper and they work just as great as Coterie, if not better. The only thing that sucks about Millie Moon is they are not completely chlorine free. They are just as soft, if not softer, and it holds a lot of pee. A lot of pee. I've not had one single blowout with Millie Moon. I have had a blowout with Coterie though. Don't know why. It might have been my own fault. Might have put on the diaper wrong. I don't know, but I will say I put my diapers on the same way using Millie Moon, and I have not had a blowout with Millie Moon. So I don't think that I'm putting them on wrong, because she has had major poop sessions in her Millie Moon diapers, but not a single blowout on her back or on her clothes or anything wearing the Millie Moon diapers. So highly recommend those if you are looking for a cheaper option. The next thing would be wipes. So the pamper sensitive wipes are good if you get that from your baby shower. Just use those. We really like the water wipes because they're mostly just made out of water. We use the Millie Moon sensitive wipes, so any one of those are great. Water wipes are just amazing. They don't break the bank either. They're really great. We also used a lot of muslin cloths or receiving blankets. The receiving blankets I carry a lot in her diaper bag. Just bring them everywhere. I have them near her bedside bassinet. You know, I use those a lot. The only thing is that the receiving blankets tend to get a little bit crustier than muslin cloths after washing them and stuff. They don't stay as soft. She doesn't spit up that much, so we don't use them a lot, but we like to use them to wipe off any excess milk or to put it on our skin or clothing when we're burping her, so her face isn't really touching that. So they're great. Highly recommend those. Also, a lot of changing pads. So portable changing pads, obviously one to put in your diaper bag. I put one portable changing pad on top of her stationary changing pad on the dresser because it's easily wipeable. The one that I have on top of her dresser is the Ubi changing pad. That one, you're easily able to wipe it off or wash it or just, you know, sit it on top of your changing pad so that the fabric on your changing pad doesn't get dirty. I also really like to keep a changing pad in the room in her diaper caddy where I have the wipes and the diapers, because I like to put a changing pad on top of the bed while I change her diaper in the middle of the night. This makes everything so much easier. I don't stain the sheets just in case she poops everywhere or pees everywhere. So it's nice to have changing pads everywhere. So I have 3 of them. For drying racks, I have the Grass drying rack. I think it's by, I forgot what the brand name is, but that Grass one I really like. I have that right next to the sink, and it is just so cute because it's aesthetically pleasing. It works just fine for me. I love it. I know some people don't like it. I don't know why. I'm able to put my bottles upside down on it, all different kinds of bottles, after hand washing them. I also have the space saving drying rack. I use that one as well. Both of them are great. I think they both, you know, serve their purpose for me. I wouldn't say I like one more than the other. Even though the other one is space saving, I like the Grass one just as much, if I'm being honest with you. So I love both. Another thing I recommend if you're hand washing bottles would be a washing bin. I just got one off of Amazon. It's a collapsible washing bin. So when you get done using it, you can collapse it, and it's space saving. Obviously, collapsible anything is space saving. So I just love filling that with water, hot water, and soap, and throwing the bottles in there and letting them soak for a little bit, and then washing them with hot water after taking them out and using a brush and everything, you know, to clean them, and then letting that dry on the rack and then putting them in the sterilizer. So that's kind of how my routine is for washing bottles, hand washing them if I don't use the dishwasher. Next thing is obviously a bottle brush. Any kind of bottle brush is great. I have silicone ones. I don't like those ones as much because they don't lather the soap up as well. You know, just getting the regular ones that have like a kind of sponge material at the ends, those ones are great. Some of them come with the little nipple cleaners underneath of it. They kind of just unscrew off so you can clean the nipples. Next thing I recommend would be gas drops. I use gas drops or gripe water. Gripe water worked really well for her. I stopped using it as much now because I'm trying to get her system to regulate on its own a little bit better than, you know, relying on gripe water to help her poop or help her get whatever she needs to get out. Newborns have a really hard time transitioning from breastfeeding to formula, which is what we had to do. It was really hard on her stomach. Some babies are a little bit easier than others. For her, it was harder for her to transition. She still isn't used to milk. She doesn't poop every day. She poops like every 2 to 3 days, and then whenever she does poop, it's like a blowout. It's like terrible. So yeah, but she will get better. I'm pretty sure it kind of evens itself out around the 6-month range. We also really love the Hatch sound machine. We just have the little small sound machine that we carry literally everywhere. I have one in her room, put it on her car seat whenever we go places. And the Hatch sound machine is amazing if you have pets. We have a dog that's loud and cats that can get loud, and it kind of just blocks out the background noise. We have it loud enough to where that's the only thing that she hears at night, and she doesn't easily wake up from the dog shaking, the dog walking around, or the cats playing with each other. So sound machine, lifesaver for her. I'm telling you, you need one. The next thing I really recommend clothing wise would be what she's wearing right now, which is kind of like a dress. So the bottom just has like an elastic on it, and it's really long, and it just makes it easy for diaper changes in the middle of the night. Love them. Or a double zip sleeper onesie type of thing. I hate the sleepers that only have one zipper. I have like 2 or 3 of those. I got like for free hand-me-downs, but I noticed I hate those because you have to take off the entire onesie to do a diaper change if it just has one zipper, whereas you have a double zipper, you're able to just unzip the bottom half, change their diaper, and then easily zip it back up, and they don't get cold. She hates being cold. That's one thing with newborn. For the first like 3-4 weeks of her life, she hated cold wipes on her butt. Now she's fine with it. She's almost 2 months. The only thing about wipe warmers is they do dry them out a little bit, but honestly, to keep a baby from screaming and crying during diaper changes if they don't like the cold, it's so worth it for it to be warm and just a little bit dry. She just hated cold wipes in the beginning. Also, the double zip sleepers that I recommend would be the Cloud Island ones by Target. They are so soft. They fit her perfectly. They're really stretchy, and they're all double zipped, and you can get some with hand covers like these, or some without it, and yeah, you just have options for both. Another thing I recommend bassinet wise, the snoo is like the best. If you can afford that, newborn will love the snoo. If you can get one secondhand off Facebook Marketplace, would be probably the best place to get one of those, but they are very pricey. Even secondhand, I think the cheapest I've seen them on Facebook Marketplace would be like $700. It would be $700. So if you're not interested in something that expensive, I got my bedside bassinet. It was great off Walmart. Super cheap, works great, it's aesthetically pleasing. So I have one bassinet in her room in here that I keep her in during the day. Just lock the doors, keep the animals out, and she can't hear them as well as in our room. So in our room we have the bedside bassinet, which we keep her in when we're sleeping at night so she can be with us. And it makes for diaper changes a lot easier and feeding her a lot easier in the middle of the night when she's by us. But during the day I like to keep her in here or in her crib. Honestly, we might start putting her in there when she sleeps in here. Another thing I recommend would be the Frida Mom nail drill nail buffer. That's great for newborns, and they also have different buffers for each stage of her life. So you just switch them off, and they're just so much easier on the fingernails than clippers are. You don't have to worry about accidentally clipping your baby's skin off or something, because I know it is really scary clipping newborn nails. It's so easy to accidentally nip them with regular nail clippers than it is with the Frida Mom nail buffer, so highly recommend that. I also use the Frida Mom nose picker, an ear picker thing. That is great to get earwax out and dried up boogers in her nose. We also really like the sucker, the nose sucker, to suck out any wet snot or anything. I haven't had to really use that as much right now, but I know that that's going to be something we use a lot when she's sick and her nose is runny. Helps get some of that wet snot out. But the nose picker is better for what she has now, which is just like dry, flaky kind of boogers. And then another thing I recommend is tummy time mat for newborns. This is something you're going to be using a lot to help strengthen their neck during the day. Just a few minutes every day helps a lot with the strength that they're going to need to develop. So we have just the Baby Einstein tummy time mat. And then the last thing that I would probably recommend would be a carrier. So with her, she loves her carriers. She likes her wrap more. I will say I got the Key Babies wrap on Amazon. That one works perfectly. It's cheap, works well, and she loves it. It's super soft and stretchy, and it's more comfortable for me too than a regular carrier. So we have the Bijoun carrier, which actually hurts my back a lot more than the wrap does. The wrap is so much more comfortable for me. She likes it more because her head sits right against my chest with the carrier, or with the wrap, than with the carrier. With the carrier, I noticed her head moves around more. She always like moves her head back when she's in one of those, and she doesn't sleep well at all in that. So the wrap is a lifesaver to get things done during the day, to like wash dishes if she's having trouble sleeping in her bassinet during the day, which we struggled with a lot actually, getting her to sleep during the day in the bassinet for the first few weeks. So I had to baby wear her to get things done. So if you have that same issue, or you think you might have that issue, baby wearing is perfect. Get a wrap. Highly recommend those. Just one off Amazon is great. Yeah, that's basically everything that I recommend. I will talk to you guys next time.